Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part two of Create Expectations, the chocolate cake version. Uh, if you have not watched part one, you know you need to go watch it on Zara's channel. Like, leave a comment, subscribe, do all the fun stuff, get all the context, and then come back here.
Yeah, I'm not really opposed to chocolate cake, to be clear. I'm just imagining it in gluten-free form.
It's not like super awful. It's also
Man,
not the best.
that's a
It's a
yeah.
winning
That
endorsement, I know.
I know. It's like it's like if I was trying to date someone and their friend was like, "Oh, he's not like super awful."
Yeah,
Yeah,
like it won't kill you.
yeah, yay. So yeah. That being said, the new raid is here.
Mhm.
Oh, before we get to viewer questions, real quick, I'd want to ask you this because we didn't cover this here.
Mhm.
Are you okay with the changes that they made? Because it was pretty awful initially, and CG recognized it right away, made
Mhm.
changes.
Mhm.
Are those changes acceptable? Do you like where we're at now?
Yeah, I think we are in a considerably better spot with what they've did. Even just like so I should preface this by saying even before the changes happened, I was in a spot where what was going on with the rewards, we were already breaking even. So it wasn't totally applicable to me and like my guild and that type of um end game style player. And it was more so if you weren't hitting that box, like you were getting the shaft, right? And I think it is considerably better now. I would, I still want them to make some tweaks, not necessarily to the reward structure, but just to like the pricing economy that they've got going on in their store because it is insulting how stupid CG thinks we are at sometimes. Um, just in terms of like the pricing of some of this stuff. But it's just a little bit ridiculous. And I also would just like that store to be revamped in terms of navigation because it is horrendous to scroll through and look at.
It is a mess. Yeah. So they needed to make a really fast fix, and that fix
Mhm.
prevented total disaster in the game because that was just gonna
Yeah.
end like the game's over. Like everyone
Um,
should just leave. Goodbye.
were you surprised by how fast they acted?
Yeah, like you can tell they were urgent because they talked about it on a Monday.
Yeah, like it was, I want to say almost instantaneous.
Yeah, like you have Taco Tuesday and they have like no communication Monday
Right.
from CG. Like it was just like that they never ever open their mouths on Monday for any reason. Never ever. There's going to
We
be a huge update this week. Communication blackout until Tuesday. But this time, yeah, they they jumped into it.
Yeah. So I was surprised. I mean, like I didn't expect them to do anything. Everyone was freaking out over the weekend, and I was like, it's the weekend. Let's all just, chill. But I did not expect them to do anything on Monday.
Right.
So I will say kudos for that. And what is also reassuring, is to know that they are still taking feedback.
Yeah. Well, I was
Whether,
glad.
I mean, like whether or not they do anything with it, but they are still taking feedback. Sorry, what were you glad about?
I was glad I got my snide video in first. The
Yeah.
relic eights you need.
Uh, none.
Which is by far, by the way, the most downvoted video I've had. I didn't realize how low it was. It's funny.
People can't take a joke. Uh,
It's still at 93%. It was fine. 93% upvotes, but yeah, I was like, oh wow, okay. I mean, whatever. It was just, I I don't know. There were people who were like, oh, I expected more from you, Zareth.
oh man.
And I'm like, I expected more from you than leaving that stupid comment. Thank you. No, I mean, it's not totally. Anyways, like people have these expectations of me to be a saint or whatever. I'm like, All right. That's just you, though, man. You know?
Sometimes you just have to call it like it is.
Right. Well, yeah, I think that video was what I needed to make for myself. So, you know,
Hmm.
I think the community, a lot of the community really needed it too. That being said, shall we go to viewer questions?
Yeah, let's do it. So we have four today.
Okay.
Um, First one is from Janus Geminis.
Oh, okay.
What do you do with Darth Sion now that you've got the rise of the Savage Omicron? So basically, they've seen you recommend running Traya with Savage, um, sometimes with Nihilus and or Talon. And if you're striving for banner efficiency, why would you take um like all three or like three or five in terms of 3v3 or 5v5 when you could go in with like two or three and like Underman, which usually ends up with Scion on the bench. So what would you do there?
So I mean, in fives, you just still use Scion with them.
Mhm.
Like, so there's room for Scion and Savage. It's fine. You can do both. And if you don't want to do Scion there, then it's not a requirement character. You don't have to gear him. I think it's wise because, frankly, like the thing that keeps happening is people keep redistributing where all their different Sith are and the best
Mhm.
builds and everything. And if you want to keep your opponent guessing, maybe you do and maybe you don't, but like finding new configurations of Sith is kind of the name of the game. And I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised to find out Scion was like one of the pilots for Leviathan. To be honest,
Really?
like for one of the new release, I wouldn't be that surprised. Like that, it's like, hey, it's within the realm of
Hmm.
like because Traya and company aren't necessarily like part of the Sith Empire stuff necessarily, but I mean they are as well. Like they're the same time period ish. Like they could fit in way better than like Dooku could, for instance. But beyond that, so you could put him with like Sith Eternal,
Right.
as a, like in Sith Eternal's gonna force him to taunt and stuff. Like he won't get his revive or anything. Like that mechanic is broken
Right.
from Sith Eternal, but you could use him there. Or you could just have him ride the frickin' bench. I don't care, man. Like you choose.
I feel
But
like a lot of
yeah,
characters just end up riding the bench. Like you've used them and then they peak and now they're on the bench.
yeah. There's not a compelling reason to use Scion for anything really. Like maybe he's gonna be a pilot. Maybe he's good as like the fourth wheel or the fifth wheel on a Treya team with Savage on it. But
Yeah.
I mean, very clearly Savage is better with a Treya squad. So
Fair.
yeah.
Okay. Um, okay, so I'm also curious about this one too. GM said, if you are mainly using Jedi Master Kenobi to counter Jabba, would there be any merit to modding the team for protection instead of health, considering the fact that thermals do max health damage? Or do you think that Cat's unique, giving others uh, 50% health bonus would outweigh that concern?
So I mean, I don't want to just hog all the questions. I know you and I kind of talked about it beforehand. And you wanted me to take the front on this, but so I'll just say, yeah, I think you should be maximizing your health anyways. Frankly,
Yeah.
I don't think. Yes, thermals are gonna hurt you, but you're also getting all your bonus protection based off of your health, and you're getting all that bonus protection
Mhm.
in protection. So when it explodes, it'll do a lot of damage to you or whatever. But it's
Mhm.
also you're gonna have a ton of bonus protection to help you with to help alleviate that damage a little bit. So
Mhm.
I don't. Not to mention, if you have bonus protection, do not like thermals are so weird. Like they're like have crit damage sometimes and do all this
Mhm.
stuff. And but you can't be crit if you have bonus protection. So I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe you
Um,
can. I'm trying to remember now.
it,
Anyways, go
but
ahead.
it's a good point because I think a lot of people forget that your bonus, like your protection, is coming from your health. Um, and if you lower that pool, then you're lowering your protection pool.
Right. Well, and it's only one match up.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe it's a really common one, but like there's no other matchup out there that it's like, oh man, I really wish I had more protection instead of health. Like you want the 50% health on cat is
Mhm.
part of what makes that squad so broken, frankly.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I would switch to modding personally. I think
No.
you're right.
Yeah, so for Kenobi himself, I guess you could like I don't know. I've been trying to put more offense on him lately because he actually once you call him to assist or whatever a few times, like he starts really building up his damage. He does decent damage. Who
Mhm.
knew? But
Who knew? Not when he's by himself, let me say.
sometimes if you've buffed him enough, but yeah, you're right. He's a little bit sad. He's a little forlorn. I mean, he's a lifter alone, you know.
Hmm.
Someone kills Lord Vader and they just have Maul just hanging out there somehow. I don't know what world that would ever happen in, but
Somehow, if it did.
yeah, or like yeah, you literally can't kill Rey before you kill Ben, I
But
suppose. But
hmm
anyways,
um,
Kenobi is the lifter for Cat is the non-subtle point I'm trying to make.
poor Kenobi, poor guy. Okay, two more questions. Kylo Zen, can you discuss the win and in which sector you would push for more stars versus preloading in Rise of the Empire territory battle? Background, there are roughly 450 million guild getting 30 stars. Um,
Oh, a conquest one, or not a
okay.
conquest, a territory battle one. This is wonderful. I don't have to answer it. In fact, I refuse to.
So, honestly, this all depends on uh in my experience, at least with our guild, it all entirely depended on platoons. Platoons were what completely took over the scoring and having that kind of like trickle effect through the rest of the map. Um, we stopped preloading in phase one first. We originally were preloading on the dark side. And that was where we decided to stop. So obviously depends on your route that you're going as well. Um, but that's where we stopped first. And then you just kind of flowed from there. So what I would recommend doing, to be honest, and this is how we figured out when it was time to do it, was you need to look at how much GP you are wasting by preloading and if you are towing the line by doing it. And by towing the line, I mean, are you stopping everything in a zone because you are 10 points shy of getting that star, but you still have 50 million in deployments to go or 70 million or whatever the case may be. Um, because if you are holding on to all of that GP, chances are you're hurting yourself. And it just makes sense in that case to just go ahead and star and let the extra GP trickle through the rest of the map. And you'll pick up stars that way. Uh, but the easiest way to factor it, honestly, is to use a tool, whether you're using like hot utils to plan for, they have like a planning tool built in now. Or you can use Google spreadsheets, which I have. That's what we used for all of our maps, was just seeing, you just plug in the numbers of how many platoons you can fill, what's your average combat waves in the zones, and what do you think you're going to deploy there percentage wise from people's rosters. And it literally just does the math for you. And you can see what happens if you don't preload. And is it going to cost you stars? Because if it's going to cost you stars, don't do it.
Yeah,
But if it's not, and this is the other thing that I will say is sometimes it is better not to preload and still get the same star total, because then you can see where the next star pickup is going to come from. So if you are not preloading, let's use phase one as the example, and you're only getting two stars in a zone, but you're 50 million shy that third star, but you're picking up another star somewhere else because you didn't preload in that zone anywhere and you're breaking even, you know that your next star is coming from phase one where you're 50 million points shy because that's going to be the easiest place to pick it up.
Yeah. The alternative viewpoint is don't worry too much about stars because they
Yeah.
really don't give you a whole lot for every increment. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it's nice. It's a wonderful thing to be like, hey, we got another star. Everyone's like, hell yeah. But otherwise, it's like, hey, what do we get now? And they're like, same as before.
Right. And so actually to follow up based off of that, I will say we are at the point now where we're not even looking at progressing into the map anymore. We've accepted the fact that we've plateaued and we are actually looking at getting people to do more of the special missions to get the get currency. And also just figuring out what's going to happen once Zepho comes, right? Because once that's there, that can have a huge factor in what everyone's plans are going to be.
Yep, that's the big question mark is what will we get there? Like,
Hmm.
they're like, hey, GT1. We're like, facepalm moment. But
But um like it honestly does feel like instead of pushing like up in the map and like forwards, it makes more sense to push like sideways in a way and push for more special missions and all of those planet unlocks.
well, and it's not like the squads are terrible either. But yeah, like the
Right.
you're gonna have to get Cal. You want to get Cal. Like, eventually we'll be able to see the full picture. But yeah, like being able to expand into those, like it just makes too much sense. It's like, hey, everyone, like work on your Kira and young Han to Relic 5, and suddenly, like, everyone's picking up that it doesn't seem like much, but like all that extra GT3, like it starts adding up, you know?
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
putting Relic 8 on your Inquisition if you have Riva, etc.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so last question and then we'll move on. Dodacto. Did I even say that right? I might have said that wrong, but
I
it's
don't
fine.
care.
Um, Follow-up question to the discussion of using get to for Rolo. Their all is at 3.3 million GP.
Alright.
Unlocked both Negotiator and Malevolence at 5 star.
Good. Oh, well,
They
5
have,
star.
they're both at
Good.
5 star. They have 37,000 get to saved up. But they are about 150 shards out from having Rolo unlocked, which would be the bottleneck for them getting Jedi Knight Luke and therefore Jabba and Jedi Master Luke. Already has Wampa, very close to Hoda. Malevolence is doing fine at 5 stars. They already have Executor as well. Negotiator has basically become a side project since they've got Malevolence and Executor. So, do they go for Rolo before they 7 star? They get 2 fleets because that would theoretically like open up the progression, or do they finish fleets first?
So this is something that's so relevant to my Prevail Man account. Like,
Mm,
you just like I'm questioning whether I should spend GT3 on Cam, and I almost think the answer is no, which is crazy to me. But it's just the price is so insane, and he's not required for anything. But Rolo is absolutely a foundational character. Not that you're going to use her that much
hmm.
long term, but you need her. And frankly, if you have Executor, you already have a Galactic Legend level fleet,
Yeah.
then yeah, you can wait on those GT2 fleets. Like they'll still be able to operate on some decent level of functionality. They're not going to give you the best, obviously, but yeah, I do think Rolo. It feels bad because you're using it on a character that's not that good, but
Hmm.
like, yeah, you need her. You absolutely do need her for like you said, Jedi Knight Luke, and then the requirements for Jedi Master Luke and Jabba. Super important.
Yeah. Um, I agree. I feel like it's weird not to be finishing the fleets. Uh, but I think that's kind of I also like I don't know about you, but I feel like that might be the price that some people have to pay in order to kind of catch up to all this other content because it's just not stopping. And I hate to use the phrase like cutting corners, but it really does feel like there is some stuff that is just going to have to fall behind, unfortunately, and then get caught up to when you need to.
Yeah, like Afra and the murder bots. It's real
Yeah.
sad. I would love to unlock Afra on Professor X, and
Mhm.
yet there's not incentive for that. Like, it's nice to have a good squad in PvP, but
Mhm.
otherwise, like, she's not needed for anything. She has a couple nodes in territory battle, and I'm more and more certain that we should just stop even doing missions in territory battles and just relieve
Just deploy.
stress. Well, seriously, like, have everyone do ships
Hmm.
and the special missions that get you extra currency, and then deploy. And yes, you get lesser stars, but you also get a whole guild that's not spending like 6 extra hours in the week
Hmm.
on something that's only going to give you a minimum return of stars.
Right. That's
I'm
fair.
not totally sure I'm in that place yet, but like I hear people talking about it. They're like, yeah, like we got like 34 stars. We could like push to get maybe 37 if we're lucky, 36 for sure. And you
Hmm.
look at the difference, and it's like I would get to spend one less hour every day doing my attacks
Yep.
for just like that small price. To me, like the stress swap is worth it. But anyways,
Yep.
not trying to talk. I know that you're the territory battle leader. You have to set the good pace or whatever. So I'm not trying to convert you. I just that's my perception. It's
It's
easy to have that
been
perception if I'm not the officer as well.
it's been discussed, I will say.
which means since we're not doing it, you opposed it. So
I didn't oppose it. I said I need to do more math.
you were like, that is not a fantabulous way to do things, folks.
Uh, okay. So that's the questions. I think we should do the pack review before we look at the character.
Yeah, let's go for it.
And we'll
I guess.
go super fast and then we can roster.
All right. Whoa, we're in the game madness.
Okay. So I have multiples of these packs.
Canadian pricing.
Canadian pricing. So you can see the first one here. So it's $70 Canadian, it's $50 US. Um, but I have a Galactic Legend Jabba Chase bundle. And then if I scroll a little further over, I also have one for Supreme Leader Kylo. I have one for Jedi Master Kenobi. There's one for Lord Vader. There's one for Luke. There's one for C. Interestingly enough, there is not one for Rey, but they're all the same price,
What
and
do you get in them?
they all basically have the same sort of thing. You can buy it three times, so you get
So this is $50 US.
$50 US, and you can buy it three times, and you get all of the characters that are shown. So and the shards that are listed. It's not a lottery thing. Like this is actually what you get. So you get 50 Gamguard, 50 Fennec, 30 Outrider, etc.
This is for
Um,
Jabba.
this one in particular is for Jabba.
You're not getting the ones that are hard to farm. You're just getting the garbage ones.
Yep. So yeah, so you're not getting any of the new ones. That's a great point.
Pass for
Let's look
50
at
bucks.
the other one. Let's look at Kylo. So Kylo's you get I think that's all of his recs, all of his requirements, right?
Um,
Uh,
it looks like it. Yeah,
right?
in fact, except for does he need like Emperor Palpatine or something? I mean,
Might.
I don't remember if he
But
did,
that
but
makes sense that you wouldn't get Palpatine shards because Palpatine is a
right,
legendary.
right. Well, he's easy. He's the easiest out of like almost any character to get full 7 stars.
Right.
Actually, like crazy easy. I mean that's fine, I guess. You even get
Hmm.
25 of the
Finalize.
finalizer.
And you can buy it three times, so same idea. Um,
Not quite enough to unlock Finalizer, ironically. I think you
Kenobi.
need 80.
I don't think this is everything for Kenobi.
I get Grievous, he's kind of rare-ish. Um, I mean, for Kenobi, you kind of need Cat, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, and you do need Watt, which you're not getting.
Mm-hmm. Which again makes sense because you can only get Watt
Oh,
through.
they could get sell Watt. He's
I
been
know
out
they could.
forever.
They could. They just won't, but they could.
All right, these are stupid. That's not.
So, the Luke one looks even worse.
Yeah, well, you need Han and you need Chewie.
Mm-hmm. And you need Jedi Knight Luke.
Yeah, you need so many legendaries. You need C-3PO.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it should be a cheaper price for fewer characters. Just saying. I feel like
Worthless
I'm not liking
characters.
these.
This is
Plus, a
this is
lot of these
stupid, man.
like these characters are accelerated.
Yeah. I guess you're getting Hoda shards, but you're not getting Wampa shards. Goes, is Hoda required for him? I guess maybe.
I
Hoda's
think
required
so.
for Jedi Knight Luke.
Why would they like see that's kind of irritating because Hoda was really only a get farm. Get two, whatever, it doesn't matter. One of the currencies. Um,
It's a one. He's
but
competing with my Wampa on Prevail Man right now.
okay. So you can only get him through like the shop basically. You can't farm him.
Mm-hmm.
You can't farm Watt theoretically because you can only get him through territory battles and now the shop as well. But
Gosh, it's
why
gonna be
wouldn't
tough to
Watt
get
be
him.
included? If Hoda is included, why wouldn't Watt be included in the other one?
Because they like their bottlenecks,
This just
Sarah.
doesn't make any sense to me. Consistency, people.
I'm not a fan.
I don't like these packs. I
Tabulous.
didn't know how I felt about them when I first saw them, and now I know I don't like them. I also don't like that I'm being shown them. Like, don't show me these packs when I already have the Galactic Legend.
But you might want Shard Shop currency, Sarah.
For $70?
$50. Let's be real.
Do I look stupid? Don't answer that.
I was like, jeez, that is risky as hell. No, don't
Uh,
let anyone tell you you're not a risk taker, Sarah.
so we don't like the pack.
No. And
Trash.
it's also like the height of laziness. Why can't you just like paste a Jabba picture on it? You did that for all the other ones.
Yeah, yeah, this is just silly. I didn't realize what it was until I actually like stopped and read what I was looking at.
Their department's like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. We
Yeah.
just use like the same image you've had for 7 years. You'll be good.
Everything will be fine. Ah,
We're
okay.
working on some hobbits.
Oh, it's true. Okay. So we hate it. We hates it.
We hate it, precious.
Let's do the character review.
All right, the one that's not in the raid, but is in the raid.
But it is in the raid, sort of,
Yeah,
kind of. They are. They are. This is not the thing I wanted. Okay.
this is not the way.
Not the way. Um, so we're gonna look at mission, apparently. Hey, I can see
Oh,
you're
well.
12.
Yeah, just don't even look at what's required. Just hit that upgrade button.
Hmm.
It's like smashing the like button, except it says upgrade on it
I
instead
know.
and does
It's
different
very,
things.
it's very tempting.
So, did you know that Mission is actually in the game? She's like 14.
No.
In KOTOR, yeah, Knights of the Old Republic, she's 14.
Interesting.
So everyone's like, "Hey, like we're murdering Omega, like it's child killing," and it's like we've had child killing in this game way right earlier than Omega.
Right. Oh man. Yikes. Okay. Well, the more you know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she also has one of the most underrated animations in the game that no
Is
one
it
sees.
her basic?
Yeah.
Didn't you say she like blows something up?
She rolls a thermal detonator at someone and then shoots it when it gets to him.
So she detonates it.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not like the coolest thing, but it's cool because that's not what it looks like at 4x speed.
So what you're saying is the next time I use her, I need to put it on normal and 1x speed. Suffer for a little bit to see the animation.
Why don't you just go see it now? Just go to the Galactic Challenge.
That seems like a lot of work.
Frick, man. All right. So, what do you like about Mission? What's your thing?
She goes with Zalbar.
Oh, okay. Good call.
I I I have I think only used her for whatever the unlock event was. Malik. Was it Malik that you needed her?
Yeah, that was one of the ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh so what do you like about Mission?
All right, so I like that she does a lot of damage if you know how to use her right. If you're doing well, yeah, she's got the blind, which is probably one of the first instances of blind in this game. I don't know if it's the first, but yeah, she could go into stealth, and then Zalbar just so whenever you call the thing I like most about her, so you can use them together with the Jedi,
Hmm.
and like when Jolie, so we have like if it's Revan lead,
Hmm.
you can't use his you can't use his like leadership granted
Yep.
ability to call like you can only call Jedi, but Bastila can call Zalbar to assist, which not you don't always want to do this because then you'll get too many buffs on Zalbar and you want to put him on mission instead because she's the damage dealer. But like Jolie can call Zalbar to assist, and then mission will also assist after that. And every time Zalbar does hit something, mission is, you know,
Assisting.
there. Yep, she's sure to follow. So
So when you're using them in the raid, are you calling Zalbar?
with Jolie, I am.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's awkward though because you only have like one character that's calling him to assist, and whereas I spent a lot of hours trying to make that team work really well at 1200, at the 1.2 level, and you just can't. You can't get it consistently. I got a 1.2 million result like twice in like 3 hours of work
Oh,
and experimentation. Um, but yeah, she's if you can get it timed, it's like it's so tantalizing because if you can get it going where it's like, especially if you can make it so that Zalbar is hitting the crate dragon back if he doesn't get dazed,
mm-hmm.
then Mission is just hanging out there assisting every time, and the damage just racks up super duper quick.
That's interesting. Okay.
Especially if you also have like the Bastila buffs on her, so you've got like offense up and crit damage up and all the things that Basti does. I don't
Hmm.
know if she gets all those things, but probably. And then also she's more survivable if she has the Bastila buff, the battle meditation thing,
Hmm.
which makes her survive. Like there's a really vital point in that fight where Mission will die from the crate dragon indirectly if she doesn't have the battle meditation buff. So,
Uh, Interesting.
anyway, she's fun. She hits hard. Like she's old school though, so she's not gonna do as much
Right.
as the newer characters.
As the new shiny ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used her briefly actually on Professor X today for the raid.
Oh, it makes you feel like you're doing something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like she's constantly moving. She's just like, oh hey, yeah, I'll assist. I'll do that. I could do that.
Yeah.
And I like her interplay with dots. Like there was a day actually. Like I got a few holds a long time ago with a Vader lead mission Zalbar team.
Of all the teams.
So in 3v3, yeah, because you have a passive taunt with
Mhm.
Zalbar.
Right.
It's pretty tanky, and then you have Vader, whose leadership is like, hey, no dots are allowed to go away, And Mission and Zalbar are both creating more dots, so there's just more and more and more building up. And if you can't get through Zalbar, then you're stuck. Yeah, like Vader just acts with impunity.
Hmm. Man,
Yeah.
seems mean. Um, would there be a case for you to ever split mission from Zalbar, do you think?
Nah, like it. I use Zalbar a lot of places, and then I missions just like, oh hello bench again.
Okay, so you would theoretically pull him, but you're not going to use her without him.
Yeah, I would say in most circumstances, like Zalbar is way more useful than Mission. She's
Yeah.
fun. She is like she could do some cool stuff, but like like, she's got tenacity down. Like so she has stacking potency.
Hmm.
If she doesn't apply a debuff, then her potency just keeps stacking and stacking until she eventually gets it. Or maybe does she have tenacity? I don't remember now. But yeah,
Let's
it's
see.
like she'll always get.
Yeah, she does gain 20% potency stacking when they resist until she inflicts a damage over time effect. Dang.
Yeah, so it's like you'll always get your debuff. Like, you'll always get your eventually you'll be able to land something. I
That
don't know.
is that is fun.
No, she is a lot of fun. I feel like she's just like one good comp away from being good. Like the problem, of course, is always like, well, like there's limited room for duos.
Yeah.
Like you can find room for them, but a lot of times it's like, well, what's she really doing? Like if she was doing a crazy amount of damage yeah, but she's not because she's older. So
Yeah.
she's 14. She doesn't know. She can't even intrigue someone enough to go just do one galactic challenge using on 1X using mission.
You want me to go do it right now before we roast roster?
I think you should. Yeah, that
All right.
seems really important. Actually,
All right. Fine. We'll do it.
important that I get my way. This is great. This is great. Yeah, just go to the lowest one. It's whatever. As long as she's fastest.
All right. Oh yeah, I guess she has to survive, right? Am I on the lowest? I'm not.
Doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it might matter. It might matter.
It might.
Let's just do this.
Oh, you're gonna take the whole team. All
Oh, should
right.
I just take her and have her take a turn? That's probably better.
Sure. Isn't it funny you have to put her in the leader slot?
That is weird. All right.
Okay, so remember, do the 1x speed. Or maybe you could do like one shot without it, and then if you survive, you could do another one with it.
Okay, do we want it on 1x or 4x for the first one?
Let's do 4x first.
Okay.
See if you can spot it.
You just see her roll it. You don't see her.
Yeah, so go to 1x now.
All right. Yeah,
See?
man, that's way cooler.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? This is the
By the
speed we
way,
used to play on.
this is how animations are supposed to be designed, is on 1x. And then you
Yeah,
speed them up to 4x CG.
agreed.
All right, let's get out of here.
I mean, like, so it's not like super nice or whatever. Like, it's just like a red blur that she shoots, whatever. But the idea of it is cool, and no one knows that that's what she does.
No, man. Okay. Um, how much time do we have to roast a roster?
-9 minutes.
All right, cool. Nice to know we are consistent.
Will continue. Yep.
All right, let's pull this up. Excuse me, real quick, before my child starts screaming.
All right.
Okay, here we are.
All right. Let me hold on a sec. I gotta try to make our faces disappear. All right. So this is actually, I guess we should say, an opportunity, folks. If you want to if you want to cut in line for roster roasts,
Because the line is quite long.
yeah. So just you can just sign up for the second tier of either of our Patreons and then let us know, and we'll
Yep.
let you cut line, which is what my Patreon patron here, Super Hornet, did. So you can curse him if you would like, but we're gonna see what his roster, how crappy it truly is.
Hmm. Um, so he's 8.5 million. What's
Oh,
what's Professor X? 8?
8.8.
Okay.
So
So
that's pretty dirty. Like you just it's almost 9 million with only 3 GLs. It's foolishness. But
it's fine.
we're not here
Uh,
to roast my alt.
no, no. Okay. Let's look at ships as usual.
As usual. Okay,
As usual.
so no
Oh,
Redis really.
four
Like
star. Yikes. You know that event comes around like once a month.
like twice a month. Well, it used to be twice a month. I don't know if it is twice now.
It's at least once a month.
It used to be twice, but yeah, for sure once. Yeah, you you could be working on that, bud. Professor X has had this unlocked for
Ah,
like a year.
man. Okay. No tie reaper. No
Yeah,
fortress.
why would you farm something?
Gotta farm Sith fighter.
Make sure we're seeing the
Because I'm
full.
sure we'll need Sith
Yeah,
fighter for Leviathan.
yeah, like this looks like a oh crap, we'd better farm this thing kind of
Hmm.
situation. Like a 6 star Sith fighter, like that's a direct result of a Leviathan being announced.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, well,
Okay.
um,
I mean, so far everything's. I mean, so far as I'm scrolling, everything is farmed.
I still really want a dark side Ebon Hawk. That'd be so funny.
Man, don't give them ideas.
No, I want that. So that is their idea. Like, please take my idea, CG. It's not even my idea. It's your,
As one
you,
of the
it's
chases.
our guild leader. Yeah.
It is. You're right. You're right. Um, okay. I mean, it's pretty much about what I would expect, to be honest. Minus the Raditz not being farmed. That's a weird one.
Yeah, like you've unlocked it. Why don't you just keep
Yeah.
working on that? Like
C-
it's not that hard.
No, and like the only reason that's what she said. The only reason why I'm like confused as well is because the other ships are farmed, so like you could do the event. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you could get shard shop currency
Yeah,
every month, like clockwork.
like clockwork. Okay, well, that's the ships.
All right, he's in Kyber too,
Yeah.
so that's good. You need those ships, and Professor X will have a 6 star profundity soonish, eventually,
At some point.
maybe.
Uh, okay. Datacrons.
Oh, look at you,
Lots of
Super Hornet. Good
Datacrons.
for you,
Wow.
man. Good for
Wow.
you. That's awesome.
Yeah, holy crap. Okay.
That is super Hornet.
All right. 4 GLs, so one more than Professor X.
All right. But not Jabba, so like not nearly as good. It's embarrassing, literally. No Jabba.
Should I sort by speed?
Oh yeah, the 300 game. I kind of forgot about it.
Man. Okay. Okay. These are some fast looking tunes.
Yeah. Yeah, they should all. So where? So if
Dang.
people don't know this, we're looking for. We're gonna choose where the characters stop being 300 speed.
Man, okay. I so far, can I just say I feel like I'm liking the order of his characters for their speeds.
Stop being so
Sorry.
Canadian. I mean,
Sorry.
nice.
As I'm saying sorry. Okay. Um,
Yeah. All right. What is your line? What are you gonna do? What you gonna do?
am I saying the character that I think is 300 or
Yeah. So
okay.
this one's 300, and then the one right after it is not.
Okay. I think uh Dark Basti is 300.
Ooh. Okay. You're being trusting here.
I am being trusting.
I'm gonna say Rex is 300 and Shock is not.
Okay, let's see what Rex is then.
Let's see.
Have you checked his roster? He is your patron.
No, I have not checked it.
Okay. It's 322.
Okay. Well, you got some wiggle room then,
I
potentially.
have I have a little bit of wiggle room. Basti, don't let me down. 309.
You don't need her to be that fast, dude. Stop with that nonsense. Jeez.
Which means let's see what new is. 308. Holy.
So look at Starkiller, because Starkiller really doesn't need to be this fast.
305 with
All
an
right,
offense set.
all right. So you have decent mods, and I don't know why you wanted a roster roast.
Dude, even Padme's over 300.
Wow. All right. Well, good for you. I mean, so he's a Patreon of mine. I guess it makes sense he'd prioritize mods. It's good.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Man.
Kind of just annoying that you put that fast of a Starkiller down, but all right.
Okay. I'm gonna stop the sorting by speed. Is there anything you want to look at in particular, faction wise?
How close is he to Jabba? Is he working on Jabba?
I was
That
wondering.
needs
Um,
no, because they're not farmed, man.
but Leia has her Omicron.
Well, because it was probably because of the discount.
True. For later, for future use.
I mean, this looks like work is being done on this. Like no reason to put gear on Mob Enforcer at all, unless you're working on Hut Cartel. But there's
True.
not much progress, man. This is shoddy progress.
Man. Um, okay, well, okay, so he's ready for Grand Inquisitor whenever that happens,
Eventually, like
eventually.
you, you didn't get the memo, like the first or second or third or fourth time. That's cool, man. Like you could work, you could just keep working on that,
Uh,
I guess.
um, I want to see his Mandos. Okay, it's not awful.
Kind of what you'd expect. Like this is the kind of
Yeah.
roster that's like, well, you just bump a couple of them up to Relic 7, and you have a very functional team that gets you 1.8
hmm
in the
This is
raid.
exactly what my Mandos look like. So I'm not going to roast them because it's too close to home. Um,
I was just about really to be really mean, so I
I
won't
know.
say
I know. I saw
it.
you bite your tongue. Okay. I mean, this is about what I would expect, right? For Sith, for the Leviathan,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Anything else in particular?
Look at the UFUs. Let's see how much work he's been doing on the Cal squad. So Cal is a little bit farmed. Seer is not. You don't have to have all those. Like, so
Mhm.
who's your number 5 on Starkiller? Like, you clearly think Starkiller is so cool. Oh, you probably do
Ah.
Juhani. Juhani's such a bad fifth. She's awful. She's
No, you
wretched.
need unaligned
Oh
fourth.
yeah. So who do you use then? You're right. You're right. I misspoke. But
I'm assuming it's would it be Ben?
I guess they. I guess you could. What Omicron does he have?
Who? Ben?
Ben, because he doesn't have Ray. So I, I, guess if you have the Omicron that hits
It is the
under
Force
protection.
dyad one.
the one that doesn't make any sense for this, for
Correct.
him. I guess you could put him with Jedi Training Ray.
You could totally, but then like who are you putting with Starkiller?
Why is he Relic 7 and you don't have even any 6E mods? Like, you need him to hit hard. It's pretty dumb. Alright.
But who are you
You
putting
know,
with Starkiller?
no Zetas on Asajj? What?
Man,
Yeah, who are you putting with Starkiller?
I
Hold on.
actually super want to know. Hmm.
It's gotta be Ben.
It's got to be
Because,
Ben.
or I guess Jedi Training Ray, who also has no Zetas.
But then if you're putting Jedi Training Ray with your Starkiller team, what's Ben doing with an Omicron?
Yeah, like nothing makes sense.
I'm just super.
Everything is awful.
You don't really
Oof.
have a Jedi Training Ray team. I mean, to be honest.
Well, yeah, so I guess just the Jedi Training Rays just sits the bench. He's like, I don't need her. No
Well,
Zetas for her. Like that lead is still really good.
um, hold up. Yeah, she's a requirement for Luke. That's why he's got her so high.
Right, right. Just
I couldn't remember if he had Luke.
it just seems really dumb to have a Relic 7 that you're just like, nah, no thanks, bro.
Well, I mean, we're away. I mean, poor Finn. He's not even 3-star. Like that's a freebie.
Whoa. Or Rose.
Uh, well, Rose is 3-star. Rose has more stars than Finn.
I
Which,
mean, we've already seen some evidence of bad decisions. I guess this shouldn't be surprising.
man.
Look at Nice Sisters. I'm gonna be so annoyed. Okay, I'm so annoyed. Let's move on.
Okay, moving on. I think that means that we're done.
Yeah, like, so you're like, hey, I don't have enough Zetas, but you put one on old DACA for that crap squad? Like, okay. Good choice. Not really. It's freaking stupid. Alright.
But who are you putting with Starkiller?
Ben, so that maybe, that maybe Starkiller looks like Ray, kind of. A little bit.
It's the hair.
No, it isn't.
Okay, we're done.